Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. So right now I am starting out by making some couscous from a box. I did get this from Aldi, so I'm just following the directions on the back of the package. So just a quick little review on this. This was our first time eating couscous, and I wanted to try it because I've heard it's really good, but we were not fans. The texture was a really big trigger for us. It was like minced up rice, and it was just weird. So the flavor was there, but the texture was not, so we will not be trying that again. But now I'm going to get started on our sub sandwiches. I just had these sub rolls in the freezer from a previous meal, so I got some deli meat, and I'm just going to make these sandwiches, and then I will heat them up in the air fryer. So these sub rolls tend to be a little tough, so that's why we like putting them in the air fryer. But I'm just going to cook them at 360 for about 5 minutes. You do want to watch them because they will burn easily. And here's what it looks like when it all came together. We serve this with the couscous and then some Funyuns on the side. Tonight for dinner, we are having just like what we call a snack night. So it's Halloween, so I wanted something super easy in the crock pot. So we're gonna do Little Smokies. So I've got a 28-ounce thing of Little Smokies. I'm just gonna throw this in. And then I'm gonna use some barbecue sauce. This is the Sweet Baby Ray's Honey Chipotle. This is our favorite. If you've not tried it, you definitely should because it is so good. We like the sweet and spicy too, but the Chipotle is definitely our favorite. And then I'm also gonna throw just a little bit of grape jelly. You don't have to do a whole lot because the barbecue sauce is already sweet enough, but this does give it a little something extra. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put this on low and cook it until it's done. You're not cooking anything, so you're just heating it through. It'll probably be in the crock pot on low for about 3-4 hours maybe, and then it'll be good to go. With our Little Smokies tonight, I'm also gonna make some pasta salad. This is the Suddenly salad. It's the ranch and bacon. It's our favorite. The BLT one is good too if you've not tried that, but we love the ranch and bacon. I don't measure anything. I've made this so many times that I kind of know just how much you need. So I'm gonna get some mayonnaise here, and then the seasoning packet. And you want to make this while your water is boiling and your pasta is boiling, so it has a little bit of time to set up. And then I like to add ranch as well because when the pasta sits in the sauce, like over time, it will soak up the sauce, and I think the ranch helps with that. So I'm just going to mix this all together while my water is boiling, and it can be waiting for the pasta. Okay, so now my pasta is done. I just rinsed it with some cold water. I'm going to dump it in. And then I'm just gonna mix this until it's all combined, and then I'll store it in the fridge until it is time to eat. Tonight for dinner, we are having nachos. So when I made this meal plan, I always look in my fridge to see what I have left so that I can make meals out of what I already have. So I had half a block of this melt and dip. This is 8 ounces, yeah. So I'm just gonna cut this into cubes. Oh, I should have let it lay out. I'm gonna cut this into cubes, and then I'm gonna add some Rotel that I had in my freezer to make our cheese dip for our nachos. And then tonight I will fry up some taco meat. We'll have this over some chips. So this is just like a basic cheese dip. I mean, it's like party dip or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, this was the only way that I could think to use this. So I'm just gonna cut this up into cubes, throw this in my crock pot. I have this little bitty crock pot. I think this is like a 4, I don't know how big it is in mine, I guess. I'm just gonna cook this on low until the cheese melts. I'm gonna add my Rotel with the juices and just a little bit of milk to thin it out a little bit so it's easier to spread over chips. And then we will serve this with our taco meat tonight. It is later in the night, so I'm going to go ahead and start on our taco meat. So I always season my taco meat with onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And then I like to add a little bit of water to the pan so it's easier to mince up. My grandma actually taught me that trick. She used to work in a restaurant, so they used to do that. And it just makes the ground beef just a little bit easier to mince because we don't like chunks of meat, so I always do that. And I always use my hamburger masher that I got from Walmart. You can pretty much find these anywhere now, but it's my favorite tool to brown up some ground beef. I'm just going to add my taco seasoning and let this cook through. So now I'm going to get started assembling my kids' plates. We have these Totino's scoops, and I'm just going to put some taco meat inside the scoops. It just makes it a little bit more fun for the kids for taco night. And then there's my son. He was telling me exactly what he wanted, how he wanted it. And then for my husband, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm just going to put some tortilla chips, some cheese, sour cream, black olives, and that cheese sauce that we made earlier. I always make my husband's plate for the video shots so that I can get a good thumbnail. But even if I'm not filming, I always do make his plate. I just think that it's one of those nice things that you can do for your husband. So let me know down below. I'm curious, do you guys make your husband's plates or do you make him make it? And then here's what it looks like when it all came together. This was such a yummy meal. Everyone wanted like seconds and thirds, but I didn't make enough taco meat. But next time I do this, I will definitely be making more taco meat. So next we're going to make some lasagna roll-ups. I had some lasagna left over in my pantry from lasagna soup the last time. So if you've not watched that What's for Dinner with that lasagna soup, you definitely should because it is our new favorite crock pot soup. But I just boiled some lasagna noodles until they were al dente. And then I'm just going to layer them out on a cookie sheet just to make sure that they don't stick while I work on the Alfredo sauce. So you guys have watched me make Alfredo sauce a million times, but this time I needed to use some half and half because my Walmart was out of heavy whipping cream. And I will say that it worked just fine. So if you're wanting to cut a little bit of cost, then I say go for it and use the half and half because it's like half the price. So that's probably what I'll be doing from now on. So now I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the roll-ups. So I'm going to put just a little bit of Alfredo sauce into the chicken that I cooked earlier. I just cooked that up in the crock pot with a little bit of chicken broth during the day. And then I'm going to layer some Alfredo sauce in the actual pan just to make sure that the rolls don't stick. And then I'm going to add some cheese to the chicken. And then we will just put the chicken mixture into the lasagna and then just roll them up and put them in the pan. I'll go ahead and say that this was definitely our favorite meal of the week. I ate it for lunch the next day and for dinner the next day because we did have quite a bit of leftovers. These are very, very filling. There's a lot of protein in that chicken. So me and my husband both had 2 roll-ups for dinner and we couldn't finish the second one. So that's why we had so many leftovers. So I used only about half a box of lasagna if you're needing, to know like the yield. But yeah, this was a really yummy meal, and it's just a different way to use up lasagna noodles. So if you are needing to use up some lasagna noodles that are stuck in your pantry, highly recommend this recipe. I will leave the measurements for my Alfredo recipe down below for you, but highly recommend not skipping the homemade lasagna or the homemade Alfredo sauce. It really makes this dish. So that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. Hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.